How to Talk to Anyone, Part 1, Chapter 8. How to Read People Like You Have, ESP. Hans, a very clever horse, inspires this next technique. Hans was owned by Herr von Osten, a Berliner, who had trained Hans to do simple arithmetic by tapping his right front hoof. So prodigious was Hans' ability that the horse fame quickly spread throughout Europe in the early 19th. He became known as Clever Hans, the counting horse. Herr von Osten taught Hans to do more than just add. Soon the horse could subtract and divide. In time, Clever Hans even mastered the multiplication tables. The horse became quite a phenomenon. Without his owner uttering a single word, Hans could count out the size of his audience, tap the number wearing glasses, or respond to any counting question they asked him. Finally, Hans achieved the ultimately ability that separates man from animal: language. Hans learned the alphabet. By tapping out hoofs beats for each letter, he answered any question about anything human had read in a newspaper or heard on the radio. He could even answer common questions about history, geography, and human biology. Hans made headlines and was the main topic of discussion at dinner parties throughout Europe. The human horse quickly attracted the attention of scientists, physiology professors, veterinaries, even cavalry officers. Naturally, they were skeptical, so they established an official commission to decide whether the horse was a case of clever trickery or equine genius. Whatever their suspicions, it was obvious to all, Hans was a very smart horse. Compared to other horses, Hans was a somebody. Cut to today. Why is it when you talk with certain individuals, you just know they are smarter than other people, that they are a somebody? Often they are not discussing high-faulting subjects or using $2 words. Nevertheless, everybody know people say she is as smart as a whip, he doesn't miss a trick, she picks up on everything, he has got the right stuff, she is great horse sense. Which brings us back to Hans. The day of the big test arrived. Everyone was convinced it must be a trick orchestrated by Hans von Osten, Hans' owner. It was a standing room, only the auditorium filled with scientists, reporters, clairvoyants, psychics, and horse lovers who eagerly awaited the answer. The Kenny Commission members were confident this was the day they would expose Hans as chicanery, because they too had a trick up their sleeves. They were going to bar von Osten from the hall and put his horse to the test all alone. When the crowd was assembled, they told von Osten he must leave the auditorium. The surprised owner departed, and Hans was standing in an auditorium with a suspicious and anxious audience. The confident commission leader asked Hans the first mathematical question. He tapped out the right answer. The second, he got it right. Then a third, then the language questions followed. He got them all right. The commission was befuddled. The critics were silenced. However, the public wasn't. With a great outcry, they insisted on a new commission. The world waited while, once again, the authorities gathered scientists, professors, veterinarians, cavalry officers, and reporters from around the world. Only after this second commission put Hans to the test did the truth about the clever horse come out. Commission number 2 The inquiry perfunctorily with a sample addition problem. This time, however, instead of asking the question out loud for all to hear, one researcher whispered a number in Hans' ear, and a second researcher whispered another. Everyone expected Hans to quickly tap out the sum, but Hans remained dumb. Aha! The researchers revealed the truth to the waiting world. Can you guess what that was? There's a hint. When the audience or researcher knew the answer, Hans did too. Now can you guess? People gave off very subtle body language signals the moment Hans' hoof gave the right number of taps. When Hans started tapping the answer to a question, the audience would show subtle sign of tension. Then when Hans reached the right number, they responded by an expulsion of breath or slight relaxation of the muscles. Von Osten had trained Hans to stop tapping at that point, and therefore appeared to give the right answer. Hans was using the technique I call Hans horse sense. He watched his audience's reactions very carefully and planned his responses accordingly. If a horse can do it, so can you. Have you ever been watching TV when the phone rings? Someone asks you to hit the mute button on the television so they can talk. Because there's no sound now, you watch the TV action more carefully. You see performers smiling, scrolling, snickering, squinting, and scores of other expressions. You don't miss a beat of the story because just from their expression you can tell what they're thinking. Hans' horse sense is just that, watching people, seeing how they're reacting, and then making your moves accordingly. Even while you are talking, keep your eyes on your listener and watching how they are responding to what you are saying. Don't miss a trick. Are they smiling? Are they nodding? Are their palms up? They like what you are hearing? Are they frowning? Are they looking away? Are their knuckles clenched? Maybe they don't. Are they rubbing their necks? Are they stepping back? Are their feet pointing toward the door? Maybe they want to get away. You don't need a complete course in body language here. Already, your life's experience has given you a good grounding in that. Most people know if their conversation partners step back or look away, they are not interested in what you are saying. When they think you are a pain in the neck, they rub theirs. When they feel superior to you, they stipple their hands. We will explore more body language specifics in technique number 77, eyeball sailing. For the moment, all you need to do is tune to the silent channel being broadcast by the speaker. Technique number 8, Hans horse sense. Make it a habit to get on a dual track while talking. Express yourself, but keep a keen eye on how your listener is reacting to what you are saying. Then plans your moves accordingly. If a horse can do it, so can a human. People will say you pick up on everything. You never miss a trick. You have got horse sense. You now have 8 techniques to help you come across as a confident, credible, and charismatic person who makes everyone he or she comes in contact with feel like million. Let's explore one last technique in this section to put it all together and make sure you don't miss a beat. Chapter 9. How to make sure you don't miss a single beat. You have seen professional skiing on television? The athletes at the top of the piste, every muscle primed and poised, waiting for the gun to propel him to ultimate victory. Look deeply into his eyes and you will see he is having an out-of-body experience. In his mind's eye, the skier is swooshing down the slope, jabbing back and forth between the poles, and sliding across the finish line in faster time than the world thought possible. The athlete is visualizing. All athletes do it. Divers, runners, jumpers, javelin throwers, luggers, swimmers, skaters, acrobats. They visualize their magic before performing it. They see their own bodies bonding, twisting, flipping, or flying through the air. They hear the sound of the wind, the splash in the water, the whir of the javelin, the thud of its landing. They smell the grass, the cement, the pool, the dust before they move a muscle. Professional athletes watch the whole movie, which, of course, ends in their own victory. Sports psychologists tell us visualization is not just for top level competition athletes. Studies show mental rehearsal helps weekend athletes sharpen their golf, their tennis, their running, whatever their favorite activity. Experts agree if you see the pictures, hear the sounds, and feel the movements of your body in your minds before you do the activity, the effect is powerful. 26 miles on my mattress. Psychological mambo jumbo? Absolutely not. My friend Richard runs marathons. Once several years ago, I skied 3 weeks before the big New York marathon. An out of control car crashed into Richard's and he was taken to the hospital. He was not badly injured. Nevertheless, his friend felt sorry for him because being laid up 2 weeks in bed would naturally knock him out of the big event. What a surprise when on the crisp November marathon morning in Central Park, Richard showed up in his little shorts and big running shoes. Richard, are you crazy? You are in no shape to run. You have been in bed these past few weeks, we all cried out. My body may have been in bed, he replied, but I have been running. What? We asked in unison. Yep, every day, 26 miles, 385 yards, right there on my mattress. Richard explained that in his imagination he saw himself traversing every step of the course. He saw the sights, heard the sound, and felt the twitching movements in his muscles. He visualized himself racing in the marathon. Richard didn't do as well as he had the year before, but the miracle is he finished the marathon without injury, without excessive fatigue thanks to his visualization. It works in just about any endeavor you apply to it, including being a terrific communicator. Visualization works best when you feel totally relaxed. Only when you have a calm state of mind can you get clear, vivid images. Do your visualization in the quiet of your home or car before leaving for the party, the convention, or the big deal meeting. See it all in your mind's eye ahead of time. Technique number 9. Watch the scene before you make the scene. Rehearse being the super somebody you want to be ahead of time. See yourself walking around with hang by your teeth posture, shaking hands, smiling, flirting smile, and make sticky eyes. Hear yourself chatting comfortably with everyone. Feel the pleasure of knowing you are in peak form and everyone is gravitating toward you. Visualize yourself a super somebody. Then it all happens automatically. You now have the skills necessary to get you started on the right foot with new person in your life. Think of yourself in the first moment like a rocket taking off. When the folks at Cape Kennedy aim a spacecraft for the moon, a mistake in the millionth of a degree at the beginning when the craft is still on the ground means missing the moon by thousands of miles. Likewise, a tiny body language blooper at the outset of a relationship may mean you will never make a hit with that person. But with the flirting smile, sticky eyes, epoxy eyes hang by your teeth, the big baby pivot, hello old friend, limit the fidget, hands horse sense, and watch the scene before you make the scene. You will be right on course to get whatever you eventually want from anybody. Be it business, friendship, or love. We now move from the silent world to the spoken word.